This Sunday on episode 40 of Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Imagine you are relaxed in the comfort of your home. Then, this happens.
I was on the phone in the kitchen, and then I got up about 7:03, walked to the gallery, where as I sat down, this person appeared at the side of the house. Then when I looked on the eastern side, there was another one.
I am Marva Sandy, and this is my story.
This Sunday, Eye on Dependency dedicates the program to the victims and survivors of home invasions, an experience Marva will never forget. Will she get justice? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives.
This Sunday on episode 40 of on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Imagine you are relaxed in the comfort of your home. Then, this happens.
I was on the phone in the kitchen, and then I got up about 7:03, walked to the gallery, where as I sat down, this person appeared at the side of the house. Then when I looked on the eastern side, there was another one.
I am Marva Sandy, and this is my story.
This Sunday, Eye on Dependency dedicates the program to the victims and survivors of home invasions, an experience Marva will never forget. Will she get justice? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives.
This Sunday on episode 40 of on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Imagine you are relaxed in the comfort of your home. Then, this happens.
I was on the phone in the kitchen, and then I got up about 7:03, walked to the gallery, where as I sat down, this person appeared at the side of the house. Then when I looked on the eastern side, there was another one.
I am Marva Sandy, and this is my story.
This Sunday, Eye on Dependency dedicates the program to the victims and survivors of home invasions, an experience Marva will never forget. Will she get justice? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives.
This Sunday on episode 40 of on Dependency, where every life is a biography.
Imagine you are relaxed in the comfort of your home. Then, this happens.
I was on the phone in the kitchen, and then I got up about 7:03, walked to the gallery, where as I sat down, this person appeared at the side of the house. Then when I looked on the eastern side, there was another one.
I am Marva Sandy, and this is my story.
This Sunday, Eye on Dependency dedicates the program to the victims and survivors of home invasions, an experience Marva will never forget. Will she get justice? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives. Patience and experience Marva will never forget. Will she get justice? Listen live from 10 a.m. on I-95.5 FM or watch live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page or YouTube channel. Eye on Dependency. We don't just share stories. We change lives.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and welcome to Ion Dependency, right here on I95.5 FM, live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel. Good morning, Natasha.
Good morning, guys. Good morning, Trinidad and Tobago. Happy Sunday to you. And we are back again in studio to talk about a very serious topic, about a crime that has been happening to a lot of families here in Trinidad and Tobago. And we have soon to be on the line with us a woman who has experienced the most devastating trauma. I think one of the most devastating traumas one can experience in your own home.
Yes, indeed. And as we said, we have done programs with victims and survivors of human trafficking, domestic violence, sexual and physical abuse. You name it, we have interviewed survivors from these issues. And this program this morning is no different, because like all of them, the other above mentioned, it's continuing. Someone asked why. Well, I'll tell you why we decided to do it. First of all, to create awareness that it cannot be business as usual any longer. And especially for our elderly. Now, I have my views. We have our opinion. And even though we continue to get flack for having our own opinion about these things, we cannot help but ignore what is. And what is, we have a lot of young men out there and women running around for some reason, either hooked on a substance or doing it for other reasons. And hence the reason why we call for drug testing of perpetrators, so we will know. If it's that, then we know why. If it's not that, then we have a deeper problem. But let's find out. And we have not been doing that. So if we have to, pay the price for highlighting that, so be it. But we will continue to create awareness by sharing these stories with you once the person is willing to do it. We don't force anyone, and that should be understood, but I guess with some people it's not. We don't force anyone to give testimony on independency, but we have a tagline where every life is a biography, and every life is a biography.
Yep.
So this falls under the purview of the Ministry of National Security and the law enforcement institutions that are dealing feverishly and working feverishly to try to solve this problem. We doing our part here as prevention. You will hear from Marva in a while, and to jog some of your memory, Marva will join us by phone, of course, but we'll have a couple of pictures of her up, because she doesn't mind doing it. She was willing, and the family is listening. And the person who's taking care of her as well, great lady, and we wouldn't tell you where they are. However, for her safety, while she awaits justice, Natasha will jog your memory on what happened to this lady. It was in the news, and it was all over social media until something took it over. Natasha, let's just remind the listening audience who we are speaking about this morning.
Yes, so this article is from Luke TT. It's entitled Elderly Woman Beaten During Home Invasion from September 8th, 2023. Officials said a 73-year-old woman was hospitalized after she was beaten during a home invasion in Princestown. The incident took place at around 7:30 p.m. on Thursday at the victim's home along Fort George Branch Road in Indian Walk. The victim told police she was in the gallery of her home when she observed 3 masked men run into her premises. They were all armed with cutlasses. The suspects announced a hold-up. They relieved the woman of $1,000 cash as well as her cellular phone. However, during the course of the ordeal, one of the men assaulted the woman. The suspects then fled the scene on foot. The police were notified and a team of officers led by Sergeant Hiralal responded. The injured woman was conveyed to the San Fernando General Hospital for treatment. She thankfully did not sustain any life-threatening injuries. More on this as it becomes available.
Now, Natasha just painted a picture for you as well. Picture yourself in that position. 3 men just board your home with cutlasses. And we've had dozens of that happen to people.
Yep.
People just chilling in their yard. Next thing you know, you've seen bodies just crawling over the wall like animals, And again, as I say, why they're doing it, we will never know until we start asking questions and collecting data. And Marva will share her story after this break, and I will tell you how we're familiar with her too.
Yep.
All right? So let's go to this break. And when we return, another life lesson for you. And you will know where you're at, what's your defense like, and if you have elderly, especially living on their own, what you can do to strengthen their defense and a chance to survive. You're listening to Dependency. We'll be back.
Hey, Cappy, talk to you now, boy. I got a small work for you to do. You make a quick 10 G's. What you gonna do for me?
10 G's? Where's that how I do this, boy?
What you doing? Taking your boat, going up the islands, pick up some people and then bring them back here for me. That's all you have to do.
That's sounding like human trafficking, boy. That's a serious crime. I can't make that.
Trafficking in human beings is a serious violation of a person's human rights. It violates a person's right to freedom of movement, freedom of choice, freedom of speech, and freedom of identity. It is a heinous crime which affects local, regional, and international peace and security. A victim of human trafficking is subjected to many types of abuse. The crime destroys a person's dignity and self-worth. Victims often feel hopeless, are suicidal, and are stigmatized in their communities. Child victims are deprived of their rights to education, play, and social interactions. They're essentially robbed of their childhood, and that can never be regained once those years have passed. If we do little or nothing to fight against human trafficking in our country, we can face economic sanctions from international agencies and partners. Our country will be losing money. Doing little or nothing to fight against human trafficking will tarnish our country's international image and, most of all, the value we place on human life. Human trafficking is no respecter of persons. Anyone can be a victim. So let us all strive to safeguard human life and dignity in Trinidad and Tobago.
We are the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please?
This is Miss Sheila.
Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line. Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, I'm calling to tell you I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna go?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be alright. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I 95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Hola, my name is Elena. Well, it's actually not my real name. You don't really care, do you? All you care about is want to pay your money to my boss that I look pretty, smell nice, smile for you, and let you have good time. Enjoying yourself and doing to me whatever you want to do for the money you paid. What you don't see or know is that I don't get any part of the money you paid. My boss takes all of it. I am forced to work, taking as many clients as my boss tells me to. I am beaten, made to take drugs, and I cannot leave this kind of work on my own. I am a victim of human trafficking. Please, por favor, help me.
Ion Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Ion Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right, thank you for staying with us. Now, let me set this up. The lady that we are about to speak with knew me from a child running around in Pampers. And she saw us grow up. I went to school with her brother, with their brother, and her sister, who we will speak with via Zoom, who is out there in the US. But their mother and my mother were like ring on finger. So you see people grow up, people see you grow up, and we all live together in community, together in Coquille Village. And the decent people, they contributed.
Hardworking people.
They contributed to the development of San Fernando, especially their mother, Miss Sheila Sandi, who God rest her soul. And they have not ever been involved in any nefarious activities at all. And decent people, and her sister is part of the, she will tell you about that. They have a Sando Day in Brooklyn every year,
right.
which is very much active in. And so they continue to be patriots. They're patriots to a fault. But after all of that, her sister Marva, she even let the country know about the Americans, because she tell us how she come to be, championing that and being an advocate for that. And after doing all of that, serving their country and all, and here it is, time to relax in their twilight years and have to experience a home invasion. Marva, good morning to you.
Good morning, Garth. Good morning, Natasha.
Morning.
And good morning to all who are listening in on 95.5 this morning. Ion Dependency.
All right.
You're welcome. And of course, she's a regular supporter of Dependency too. So
yes.
When we asked Marva to join us, she did not hesitate, because, you see, folks, sometimes we go through stuff in life, and then it's when we, as my mom used to say, when we immobilize and we would have nowhere to look else but up at the ceiling and at God for answers, our mind starts to wander. And so we go through different zones after stressful situation. And Marva is about to tell us now, take us to that. When she, growing up, we just introduced you a bit, Marva, but tell us about you, your family, and where you're from and all of that.
My family, we lived in Coquille. We lived in Pleasantville for some years, and when my parents were separated, we moved to Coquille Village, where I spent most of my adult life. We lived there for more than 40 years before I moved out of Coquille and I went to live Pointe-a-Pierre. I went back to Coquille subsequently, and when my mother sold the house, I moved up to Indian Walk, where on the family, the Americans have got 16 acres of land when they came, so I inherited that from my grandmother, where I live now at Fort George in Indian Walk.
Right, so, wow, and that's nice for us to know about the Americans.
Yes.
So you inherited that, and you have been
occupying that
occupying
property.
and at the same time promoting that same issue,
knowledge
right?
of
Yes,
that
yes.
community.
Presently, I'm the president of American Heritage Foundation.
Nice.
Wow. And how is the support for that? And you know, because you actually speaking or educating our public about the descendants, our descendants, and slaves settled here, and all of that. So you're as African as they come.
Yes. Well, with American Heritage Foundation, what we do is we have outreach programs to the schools. So we go to the schools to educate the children and their parents about their legacy and their heritage. We do that to all the schools within the American communities, within the 6 companies. And in addition to that, now we started a school for the smaller ones, for the little children, because after COVID, during COVID and after COVID, I noticed that the children were not attending school. So we decided to start this school to improve their literacy for the little ones, but that too, some parents didn't understand the idea of the new way of teaching the children. So, there too is a challenge.
Right. So how long had you been living in this house before this incident happened?
For the past 13 years, I'm living there. I've been living there. And I've been active from day one.
Right.
Until this has happened.
So you should be well known in the area.
Yes.
Yeah. I am.
That's
and you
food for
never
thought.
felt, I guess, because of the length of time you're living there, you never felt unsafe in any way?
Never did. Because when my friends come, they would say, "Why are you sitting down in the gallery?" And I said, "Well, I feel safe here, There's no crime here. I feel safe." But that safety net has been thrown off.
That is it's, and so I could imagine the betrayal felt.
Oh yes, it was. So you feel violated in your sanctuary.
Yes.
You feel really violated.
So and for those of us who don't know the country, I mean, my mom's from Moruga Road, St. Mary's Village, Moruga Road. So they're supposed to be country. That's country, Indian Walk
Yeah.
and all of these places. And
Because most of the people in there, they're related. So, they look after each other. But I guess outsiders do come in and infiltrate you and make the place unsafe for everybody.
now, another one of the things that really spoil our communities. And I want to remind people what I said some years ago, that as soon as crack cocaine started spreading to the communities, even the places that were never touched they lost their virginity eventually.
Yeah.
Because it's...
But
Go ahead.
those who were dealing with that stuff no longer live in my street.
Mm-hmm.
They no longer live there. So, the place became safe. But I think, in spite of the police supposed to be making regular visits to the communities, and that I don't see at all in my street. Not at all. There was a time there was a post, the regiment had a post in Moruga, I think it was. They used to come in, and I used to see them in there making their tours and things, coming in to visit people within the community, but that post is no longer there, so we no longer have that sort of feeling safe, within the community.
And how far is you spoke about the lack of police presence, but how far is the police station from where you are?
Princess Town is about 15 minutes from where I live.
Okay.
And St. Mary's is about the same distance. St. Mary's police post.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Marva, who just recently, as about 3 weeks ago, it has been about that now, say Marva?
Yeah.
Right. Experienced a home invasion. Now, you lived alone.
Yes.
Right. So you didn't have anybody else.
No, but my sister was staying with me for a while, but thank God she was not at home.
Right.
Because the outcome of this whole thing would have been different.
So when you got up that day, Marva, what was that, if you could remember? Let's go back to that morning. Because we don't know what the future holds, right? So you got up that morning. What were your plans that day?
Okay, that morning when I got up, that Thursday morning, I had an interview with Kenny Phillips at his studio, Wax Studio. And we spoke about Americans. And we were supposed to start a program on the Tuesday of the next week, talking about Americans. He was doing a series of programs about Americans on the next Tuesday. So when I left Kenny's studio at WAC, I walked up to Coquille. I went to the credit union in Coquille. I walked from San Fernando to Coquille.
You
and
walked?
Along the way, I met people and they said, "Hey, what you doing?" I said, "I haven't walked for a long time, so let me walk," because my car was in the garage. My car was at the mechanic.
No, Marva, hold 1 second. No, let's
She walked
remind.
from Sando to Cookie.
Let's remind people how old Marva is.
I'm 73 years old.
73 years old. Marva, I'm not doing that in this hot sun. So congratulations.
It was about 11 o'clock in the day.
Lord have mercy. You are fabulous.
Yes.
So you decided to walk.
I had a really good day. You know, I went to this credit union and then I took a taxi and went home. Well, I had to drop off to Princeton and then take another taxi to get. And I went home and, as usual, go in the yard and do my work because I rear a lot of plants and things. So I went home and went and see about my plants and things. Then in the evening time, I went inside and made some calls. And there was this gentleman I spoke with. We were planning, American Heritage Foundation was planning an event in November. So I called the gentleman to talk with him, and we assured him that I will make the down payment to secure the premises for the event. And I made some other calls to whoever, you know. And after that, at 7 o'clock, it was after 7, and I took up my books on Americans to go to the gallery to refresh my memory, you know, because this thing coming up Tuesday, I didn't want to go and fumble, you know.
Right.
So I took up my books to go in the gallery to sit and read because the house was so hot. That day was extremely hot. So as I sat, before that, I closed the windows to the bedroom and went to the porch to sit. And as I put my bottom down on the chair, I just see this image appear on one side. When I look on the other side, at the side of the house, I see another image appear. And these two young men, they stood up like soldiers with cutlasses in their hands. So I screamed and run inside and tried to close the door. So we had a little scuffle by the door, and they threw me down on the ground. And from that, well, all hell broke loose. So he was coming down on me with a cutlass, and he had something pointed like a gun pointed to me. And he said, "I'll shoot you, shut up." And then he had this cutlass coming down on me. So I grabbed the cutlass. Because I don't know what he was going to do with that cutlass because he was coming down on me with it. And I grabbed the cutlass. And we had a little pulling and thing with the cutlass. So another one. So by the side of me, I had glanced. One went in one bedroom and the other one went in another bedroom. And then one ran to my head and he said, "Where the key for the back door?" So I said, "Okay." Then I said, okay. I just tell myself I'll stop fighting with him. I said, okay, what do you want? What do you want? He said, "I want the key for the back door and I want the money." I said, "Well, I don't have anything for you." Yes, I want the money and I want the key for the back door. So I say, okay, to get the key for the back door, I have to get up. And I can't get up. Will you help me up? And he pulled the cutlass out of my hand. And then he helped me up. I think he helped my finger. Or somehow he helped me up. I went and I got the key. I gave them the key. And then they took me to the bedroom to get the money. So I showed them where the handbag was because all this time is blood all over the place.
Oh, so when he pulled the cutlass, that's when you got the cut?
Yes.
No.
It's only the thumb on your right hand didn't get cut. Every other finger cut. Every other finger plus my hand, the palm of my hand.
Now, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and you are hearing a description of an experience Marva had when her home was invaded. And Marva had, For those of you on Facebook, well, that's her with the bandage on her hand. Now both hands are bandaged. Now, Marva, during that time, there's a saying, you hear from people, you saw your life flash before your eyes.
Yes, yes.
What were you feeling? Now, Trinidad and Tobago, I want you to picture this while Marva is telling this story. Picture yourself in this situation, you home alone, and did your screams alert anyone?
Well, my phone rang twice. So what I discovered after is that the neighbor saw the scuffle by the front door, and she called to find out what was going on, but I couldn't answer, of course. So when the phone rang, they took up the phone and they ran with it. They took the phone and my Chromebook, the tablet, they went with that, and with the money.
Now, did you think that you weren't going to make it out alive at any point?
Boy, when he pulled the cutlass out of my hand and he helped me up, I said, okay, he wouldn't kill me. Although one of them told me, I'll kill you, I don't care, I'll kill you. And next one murmured something to him. I don't know what he said. Maybe he tried to tell him, well, no. He murmured something to him. That's the third one who was at the back. So then they took me after that threat, they took me to the bedroom to get the bag with the money.
And were their faces covered or were they?
Of course, they're covered, so they had to cover their faces.
But did they sound young, middle-aged?
They're young. They look like between 17 and 20. I don't think they will be older than that. Young boys.
Old enough to be your grandchildren. And
they couldn't be my grandchildren, yes.
But what about the attitude now? Was it just pure aggression, intimidation? No, there was no one among them who were trying to, show, well, okay, this is a senior citizen, but they're in your house already, so forget that. But the whole attitude, did you have a chance to see, that in their eyes, what you saw?
The living room was dark, so I couldn't really see, I couldn't really see what his eyes looked like. But I know he took up a vase to bash him. He said, I'll hit you with this. But then when he said he will hit me the third time and he said he will hit me with it, then I calmed myself down and I said, well, don't fight. Because what was going through my mind, I said, oh, Lord, I hope they don't rape me.
Right. Now,
Lord, yes.
What about neighboring houses now? How close are you to neighbors?
There is one neighbor very close to me, just the fence divided us. But he said that he didn't hear anything. He's an elderly man.
Right.
He's an elderly man. He lived there, and he's too well either. So he said he didn't hear anything. But the neighbors further down the road heard the screams. Because when I ran out to the yard, they were in the road. They were in the road looking up my way to see what was happening. So,
just okay.
So they too were scared.
Well, of course. And nobody called the police while that was going on?
No, it was only when I got down there and they saw the blood on my clothes and all the blood running down on my hands, they called the police and the ambulance.
Do you have any idea why they might have targeted you? Do you think they knew?
What they kept saying, what I've heard, that I'm the rich lady in the community because all those big cars always come by me, and I always used to have some activity in the yard. Well, as I said, I'm the president of American Heritage Foundation, right? So
right.
We always have some activity before COVID, and I celebrate my birthday for Carnival. After Carnival, we normally have a after Carnival fest by me.
Okay.
And then I used to do some entertaining there in the yard as well when I just got up there.
Okay.
So they figure, well, I am wealthy and well off. But I'm a retiree, I'm a pensioner.
Yep.
I'm a pensioner.
So we take a break, Mama. Take some water. When we return, you're going to tell us about your injuries, how severe they were, and of course, what happened next, for the police response and where it's at now, and then we will hook up with Plea afterwards, all right? So, folks, you're listening with Dependency. We're speaking with Marva, and you know the drill. Let's take a break. We'll be back.
Go, son, I come in and don't give me no attitude there.
You have Shiana manners, boy. I wish I had your touch, boy.
You have to groom them. First, you have to target them, scope them out, see if they have low self-esteem, family problems, you know? Then you move in and gain the trust.
I like your glasses.
After that, you feel a need. Some of them like nice things like fancy phones, hairdos, clothes, food. It have ones who only looking for somebody to care and listen to their problems. You feel me? What's important though, you have to isolate them from the people. Let them believe it's all about you and them.
I care about you.
Then you get through.
Nice, nice.
Look one right here. Try thing now.
A message from the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please? This is Miss Sheila. Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh, God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to tell you, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh, God, Sherry, what? What you do? How you reach there? Oh, God, how we gonna go?
Oh, God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be all right. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I 95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
The government of Trinidad and Tobago, through the National Task Force Against Trafficking in Persons, continues to develop and implement effective policies and procedures to prevent and suppress human trafficking. To date, the National Task Force has developed 2 national plans of action against the crime of trafficking in persons. Trinidad and Tobago adopts a 4-pronged approach in its response to human trafficking. 1. Effective identification of victims and witnesses. 2. Prevention of human trafficking. 3. Protection of victims and witnesses. And 4. Prosecution of suspected traffickers. In the Ministry of National Security, we established a specialized unit called the Counter-Trafficking Unit to lead and manage Trinidad and Tobago's response to human trafficking. The Counter-Trafficking Unit works closely with the Trinidad and Tobago Police Service, the Immigration Division, and international law enforcement agencies to aggressively and proactively investigate and prosecute suspected human traffickers. Human trafficking is a serious crime. Rest assured, the government of Trinidad and Tobago and its agencies remain committed in the fight against human trafficking and will respond with immediate effect when the need arises.
We are the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
Thank you for staying with us, and thank you for those of you who are joining us online and on air on I 95.5 FM. We are speaking with Marva Sandy by phone. Marva is the survivor of a home invasion, and she described before the break exactly what happened. And I mean, it's a harrowing experience, Garth, and I was just saying off air that, well, I was just saying that, you have to have a kind of a presence of mind and calm to have to deal with a situation like that. You have 3 men invading your home, brandishing weapons, demanding money, and that is not. And you obviously a fear for your life, and thankfully she managed to escape with her life. But the presence of mind to think clearly and calmly and make sure that they get what they want and leave, is a real traumatic event.
And just to reiterate, we grew up on a street. All of us grew up in Betty Street and Jean Street, sorry, in Coquille Village. And they lived just in the corner, Simpson Brown and Jean Street. And that was our family street. If I started to call the names of the family, the Jacksons, the Browns, the Williams, the Thompsons, the Sandys, the St. Clairs, the Josephs, it's from one end of the street to the next. We are accustomed to growing up in that kind of family environment.
Mm-hmm.
And for Marva now to experience this in another part of the
Trinidad,
island,
where you would think that kind of sense of community still exists.
Yes. But the respect for elderly is no longer there.
Clearly.
And I'm asking everybody here this morning, you have an elder person in your life who feel they could still carry on with business as usual. This is a wake-up call to where we are today. We're not trying to be alarmist, but it happens.
And
so
someone on Facebook is asking if there were any cameras on the premises.
Marva, you back with us?
Yes, I'm with you.
Right.
Because of the disturbances of the internet always breaking down things, they went bad. Yeah.
Oh.
They weren't working. So
Right.
They found out. They realized that the camera wasn't working.
So, and then someone else suggested that you walked from the credit union, you went to the credit union that day, and you walked from the credit union to Coquille. Maybe you were under surveillance,
So
you don't
I walked from San Fernando to Coquille.
Right.
From the Coffee Street.
Coffee Street, sorry, yes. Coffee Street. And that's a good walk. And
yeah, it's a good distance.
yeah. And then you credit union and then you went home.
Yeah.
Right. So we don't know, that could be a possible scenario. But your injuries, when he pulled the cutlass from you, you were holding it with both hands.
Yes.
And he pulled it so hard that you got injured. What's the extent of your injuries?
All my fingers, except the thumb on my right hand, every other finger and the palm of both of my hands was cut. So they had to have an emergency surgery on me the Friday morning.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes, yeah.
So you went to the hospital that right after, and you stayed overnight, and they worked on you the next day.
Yeah. I stayed at the hospital for 4 days actually. On the 4th day, I was discharged.
Well, I guess that night you were in severe pain, were you?
What pain and the amount of blood. They bandaged the attendant to the ambulance bandaged my hand. When I got to the hospital, they bandaged my hand, and the blood was just oozing from 7:30 until after 11 o'clock. Because when I look at the clock, it was minutes to 12, and blood was still oozing from my hand.
Were you on a bed? Were you sitting?
I was on a bed, yeah. I was on a bed. They put me on a bed.
Okay. And you eventually got it stitched up. What's the number of stitches you got?
One finger, when they were taking out the stitches yesterday, day before yesterday, I checked more than 20 stitches in one finger, in the middle finger on my right hand. So every other finger had more than 5 stitches. Every other finger had more than 5 stitches. So.
And what was the police response now? You mentioned that you managed to call the police right after the incident, but then you were taken to hospital. So at what point did the police first interact with you?
Okay, the police came there the evening of the incident, and they asked me some questions, and I guess they took it down in the diary, wherever. And when I was to the hospital, in the trauma unit there, 2 officers came and asked me some questions. And they said they would be back to get a statement. Up to today, 3 weeks after the incident, I think it's 3 weeks, I have not seen or heard from any officer to get any statement from me. I went to the Princestown, after 2 weeks, when I was discharged on the Sunday, the Friday after that, when I went for dressing, I said, okay, let me go back to Princeton Police Station to find out exactly what's happening.
Right.
The officer was not there. All right? And I went back a second time. They said he still wasn't there. So I went to see the person. I was sent to the person in charge of Princeton, Inspector Mohammed. Well, he was very kind and gracious, and it's he who told me that there was no statement up to that time, because the officer is on training for 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah. So he in turn asked me, this Inspector Mohammed, if anybody from the victim unit came to interview me. I said, no, nobody came. Nobody came to see me since after that incident on the 8th. Nobody. But eventually, he spoke to a lady, and she sounded very genuine that she was going to get somebody to come to speak with me. So he called again, and Friday, Mr. Norega and his assistant came and they interviewed me.
That's from the
He was
victim.
apologizing for the police, Norega from Shakona, police station.
And they're from the victim and witness support unit.
Yes.
Right.
Yes. So he was apologizing for the police. I tell him, he don't have to apologize for the police. He's doing his job. They have to do their job. Nobody, no police officer up to this day, I think what's the man name, Gafar or something like that, he has not contacted me up to now.
I don't know what to say about it.
I'm speaking with you. That is why I'm speaking with you now. Because I said this is really not, the criminals just running rampant around the place because they know there's no police intervention. After me, they shot a man in 6th Company. They went in Loney Road and beat up another family after me because they're free to roam and do anything, because the police seem not to care.
No,
and it's only senior citizens who they going by and easy targets.
Now, let me throw this in here because people might. Do you think, Marva? No, I fully understand and support your distress now, because I'm going to add a little icing in that in a while. But just for the sake of conversation, do you think the police tired now too as well? Do you think the police burnt out and the cases are piling up one by one that they just, remember they have to deal with this on a daily basis,
It's of course the man went on guard.
No, but what was the reason for the officer? No, I'm not making any excuses for them, Natasha, because I too was upset when I heard this. But haven't had time to think about it, and I'm asking, one, is it slackness? Is it don't care? Or is it that they burnt out? Which one?
I see that they just don't care. If the police will do the job, and these little punks all over the place will not be running rampant and violating people's rights and doing what they're doing, doing what they're doing to elderly citizens.
I understand.
Yes, because the speed of action by the police immediately after something like this happens, it increases the chances of them catching the perpetrators. You cannot, you have a victim who is conscious and able to speak and relate her experience, and you can't reach by the house or reach by where she is and take a statement.
And the longer they stay, is the less her memory will.
Correct. Suppose I had lost my memory.
Yeah.
All of that.
Yeah.
Suppose I had lost my memory, and as a matter of fact, I tried to remember my daughter's phone number, and I couldn't even remember it. I couldn't even remember my sister's phone number. I couldn't remember anybody's phone number for them to call to tell them where I am and what happened to me.
If you just
going on the ambulance, I had him stop by my cousin and call him out and let him know what happened, because I could not remember anybody's number. Up to now, I still can't remember some people. I'm having difficulty remembering my daughter's number.
Now, if you're just joining us, you're listening to Dependency, and we are speaking with Marva. If you're just joining us on Facebook or YouTube, we ask you to like and subscribe to the channel, especially on YouTube. And we told you we have some surprises coming for you. So please, while you're on YouTube, especially like and subscribe to the channel, and on Facebook as well. We're speaking with Marva, who experienced a home invasion. And Marva, this the station that's responsible for seeing about your situation is Princestown, right?
Yes.
Right. Now, while you are speaking there, I am thinking, and I want to reach out to the police here now, because this is why our crime situation, our murder rate, keep climbing. Because Marva, let's picture this: you listening in Trinidad and Tobago now. Put yourself in my position, right? Marva is my mother. Follow me here. Marva is my mother.
Mm-hmm.
I want the police to listen to this too. And this helps to protect your commissioner from getting ridiculed. Marva is my mother. I go to visit my mother a couple of times a week or every day, case maybe according to the time that I have. And as days go by, I see my mother go through several changes, pain, anger, sorrow, frustration, and I love my mother dearly. And every time I go to see my mother, and I ask her, the police call it? No. The police? No. The police? No. What do you think is going to happen to me as a son who continues to get angrier and angrier and angrier? And especially if I'm seeing the people who perpetrated this crime. Or I could go and find out. 2 or 3 days from now, you will hear 3 more men shot dead. We will never know why. And we'll just say maybe it was gang or drug related. But it's as a result of my mother not getting justice why I, as her son, decided to take the law into my own hands.
Yep.
Thereby increasing the murder rate.
Yep.
Who gets blamed for that? The Commissioner of Police and the Minister of National Security. So I've just decided to throw this picture in here so you could understand how important it is for Miss Marva now to get her interview, and let's get the show on the road.
I wonder if the police, have they even visited the home to investigate the premises where this crime took place?
Well, at the night it happened, I saw 2 police officers walking up to the house before I went in the ambulance.
Mm-hmm.
So I know 2 officers went, but the house is locked up, so they go back. Nobody's there.
Well, they couldn't have, right? I suppose the lead investigating officer who interviewed you would be the person who would need to direct those actions.
Exactly.
And he gone on a course.
Yeah.
Now he must have known that before he came to talk to you, right?
Sometime ago, about 3 years ago, I was on vacation in the United States, and some young men tried to break into my house. All right, the cameras were working then. I took the footage to the Princeton police station.
Mm-hmm.
Up to this day, nobody ever came.
Oh, wow.
Nobody.
You see,
I had another incident where somebody had crack cocaine in under my tank stand at the back of the pump. I saw him doing it.
Mm-hmm.
I took it out and I carried it to the police. Nothing ever happened after that either.
Oh,
police
my
never
goodness.
came.
Yeah, it's indeed unfortunate, and as I said, we're not knocking the police because I even intend to try to even give them the benefit of the doubt that this is another one added to what they already have to investigate.
Correct.
And maybe they're just giving up. We hope that is not the case, because I cannot see why they have not reached by you as yet.
No,
and you
but
have all the evidence. You have your both hands. Well, you took all the stitches yesterday, but you still can't use them properly, right?
I can't use them for quite a long time.
My goodness.
No, but the thing about it as well, this thing about the police officer going on a course. Now he's going on a course to improve, I assume, his policing skills, right? But yet you are in charge of this investigation for a matter which is a very serious matter. You could have died. You could have died. Maybe if you had, sorry to say, maybe if you had died, they would have paid more attention to it.
Probably.
But that's easier to close.
Probably not.
Exactly. No, because it's an easier matter to finish off.
Yes, yeah.
You know?
Look, again, we are just humbly asking, because you know how things in Trinidad and Tobago are these days. You speak up and you get victimized.
Yes.
We are not criticizing anybody. We are just asking that this lady speaking with us here this morning get some police officer to come to her to show thank the Victim and Witness Support Unit for doing their part.
Yes, yes.
And we really appreciate it, and I hope there's a follow-up, to this and a continuation. But the most important person, if the officer is going on a course, then why isn't somebody else handling the case to continue to investigate it?
Exactly.
Come on, we could do better by our citizens, man.
This is
and
unacceptable.
And thereby keeping the murder rate down. So, Marva, what do you intend to do? Are you going to continue to pursue this, or before you give advice to the What's the next plan?
Because I don't want another senior citizen to be attacked in their home.
Right.
Or anybody else, as a matter of fact. I don't know when I go back to my house if they will come and attack me again because I'm on the air talking about it. I have become vulnerable.
Yes.
They could very well do that because those young men knew me because they keep walking the road and observing me and my movements.
Oh wow.
So you think you may have seen them before?
I can't see.
Yeah, you can't see. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, I mean for her safety too. It's better she didn't see. Because when I asked her, and thank God their faces were covered. So she
can't identify them.
Right. So maybe that's why the police not interested either, because she cannot identify them. But I want to appeal to them. There are people listening to us from Indian Walk this morning and Muruga. Even Brooklyn, and speaking of it, we'll join her sister in a moment.
And I'm sure they are concerned as well about their safety. And you mentioned some other incidents that took place in the area, so obviously people are concerned.
Yes, I want to appeal to you young men up there and the people in Princestown. Please, I've been to prison. It's not worth it, fellas. It's not worth it. Oh my God. And I ask you to leave the senior citizens alone now. Let them enjoy their lives now. At least let's protect the elderly now. I'm begging this morning for the elderly in these are the history books of our country.
There was a time in the company villages, the younger folks had great respect for the elderly, but it's no longer like that.
Yeah. Yeah.
But you know that because you used to visit, right? So
yes.
Of course.
Great respect they had for the elderly, but that no longer obtains.
Marva, do you think there's an opportunity here for members of the community and to form a kind of community watch group, maybe get some air horns for everybody and be more vigilant? Because I guess we can't depend on the police entirely, and we have to try to protect ourselves any way we can.
Well, and let me answer that, Marva, before you answer. There should be a meeting of the community because you should have at least 3 generations living in the community, right? Do you?
Yes, 3 and 4.
Right. So then, because we have to defend yourself. That's true, but then you must have another line of defense too.
Yes.
Which is the middle generation who will spring into action when the elder generation is being attacked.
Right.
And so I think you should use your compound now when you and up and running again to have community meetings now and start a watch group and
hopefully involve the police as well.
Are you getting support from the community?
I haven't been back there so far. There was a time I wanted the road fixed because when I went there the road was really bad. So I called a meeting with the folks within the community. They came once, they came twice, and the third time nobody came. So I took it upon myself to write a letter, and I went to each home and have them sign it and took it to the council. And that is how we got the road fixed. So I don't know if this time, seeing that this has happened to me, if they will attend the meetings whenever it is called. I hope that they would.
I hope that someone would start to take some action on your behalf, because we can't expect you to do it, right? Hopefully someone else would take up that charge to at least get the community together to see what y'all can do to protect yourselves.
Yeah, so I got in my brain while I'm here to come up with some kind of plan, something to, to sensitize the community. That we have to be each other's keeper.
Yes.
We have to.
No, Marva?
And there are a lot of elderly people living in Fort George.
Right. And no, we have to draw a line somewhere. We have to these are our mothers and grandmothers, and we have to protect them. We cannot be attacking them. It's so unfortunate. I pray for these communities and people who would have experienced this, what Marva has experienced, and she's alive to tell the story. And we are appealing to the divisional commander in Princestown. Please, assign an officer or whoever listening in the police service this morning.
Could
please
get someone on this case, please.
Yes, assign an officer to this case, please, so that Marva could get some justice and continue to be a
pillar of the community.
A pillar of the community. That's all we asking. And I don't think that's asking for too much. Marva, we're gonna take a break and hook up with your sister. All right.
Yeah,
so
and I need to commend my my caretakers too when they come back.
Yes, of course. We must, because just to paint a picture for people to understand now, you cannot even answer your phone now, right?
No, I can't. I can't answer the phone.
You can't feed yourself.
Someone has to help you.
Someone has to answer the phone for me. Mm-hmm.
So you just have to be dependent now on someone.
Dependent. From being independent to be totally dependent on someone for my well-being.
And this is all part of the understanding of the anger of a person going through this, why people who should help her alleviate this should spring into action immediately.
Yep.
This could be my mother. This could be your mother. This could be anybody's mother.
Yep.
And there are some mothers who insist leaving their back door open or leaving the window open. And
you remember when this happened to Hazel? This happened to my mom, Some people went into her house. Thank God she was sleeping, so she had no idea what was going on. But some young man came in there in her house and, took stuff. I don't know what would have happened if she had been awake. It's a very dangerous time we live in, unfortunately.
If you're just joining us to listen to Independence, we're going to take a break and we hook up with Claire, who's out there in the U.S. Just chew on this for a moment, people. Chew on this for a moment. And Tantan on YouTube, what we're doing to help is what we're doing right now. You the same person who just said a while ago, and now we don't really take on people on social media who come there to cause mischief, right? But I want to let the public know what you said just now, a while ago. Let me give you some love this morning that you're looking for, forward. You are all so funny. The police and Coast Guard running the gangs. Now, it's so easy to say this with a green background and a T on it and not your face. And drop these kind of comments on Facebook. So what we supposed to do? Applaud you and tell you, yes, boy, the police and the Coast Guard running gangs, right? We're supposed to do that. One day, boy. One day, I may not be alive to see it, but one day, I hope Trinidad and Tobago finds itself in a better place. I've made my contribution, Natasha also have. And we're doing it from our hearts. We're not getting paid to do this. I hope, Tantan, that you secure in your elderly, if you have any. We're going to be right back after this break. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel on YouTube and Facebook. And we'll be back with more with this family. Stay right there.
The sex trafficking is a serious thing in a way.
Sex trafficking? I thought it was only human trafficking it have.
But what do you mean?
No serious thing, boy. Where you get that from? I don't know about human trafficking, me not about sex trafficking.
So how can you spot and identify perpetrators and children who are victims of trafficking? Many victims who are children do not look like under 18 years old. Child victims often move escorted around alone or in small groups. They also live in shared and even packed rooms and have very little clothing and belongings. Child victims are often seen with adults who are not their parents, their relatives, or their caregivers. Migrant children are often unaccompanied and separated from their parents. Child victims are often engaged in work that is not suitable for children. They are often deprived of their freedom to go to school, to play, and to enjoy being a child. Perpetrators have unexplained sources of income and possessions. They are businessmen and businesswomen running legitimate and illegitimate businesses. Perpetrators may appear to be the victim's friend, boyfriend, close relative, or employer.
We are the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please? This is Miss Sheila. Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to Talia, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, sorry, what you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna go?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be alright. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I 95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Give me my phone.
What you doing taking them kind of pictures? I'll tell Mommy.
And I'll tell her you invaded my privacy.
Privacy? When you send those pics, you lose all privacy. It's like setting up a billboard with your naked pics for the world to see.
Those pictures are for my boyfriend's eyes only, and he'll never do that to me.
Yes, he can, or one of his friends or family. Or someone can steal his phone. Sending naked pics can open you up to embarrassment for you, your family, and friends. You can be harassed by bullies. Your pics can be uploaded to websites and seen by everybody, even the wrong people, sex offenders. It can also affect you getting a good job in the future. Once those pictures go out, you can never get them back.
Okay, I'll tell my boyfriend to delete them, and I'll delete these. I'm glad I have a smart little sister.
I'm still telling Mommy.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio, at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I 95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
For that.
Thank you for staying with us.
Thank you for that, Jackie.
Thank you for staying with us. This is Eye on Dependency. We're talking about home invasions with a survivor of a home invasion, Marva Sandy, who's on the line with us. And we also just learned that today is the International Day for
Elderly persons.
Elderly persons.
Thank you, Jackie Burgess, for reminding us.
Yes.
We had look at that.
Indeed. And also, before we go to Claire,
Wow.
I neglected to share this comment on Facebook from Antonia. She says, "Good morning. I had a home invasion on 28th of July this year. My vehicle was stolen, and as Marva said, no police officer contacted us either. It's business as usual. We were beaten, hogtied, abused verbally from 3:10 a.m. to 3:50 a.m., and no one heard."
Tantan, that is why we're doing this program, whoever Tantan is, male or female. And to those of you who listening, whether you find favor with Independency or not, we dedicate this program to you too.
Yep.
And the people out there who have been invaded, Tantan, let me get this joke before we go to Claire. Claire, hold on, And this wasn't a home invasion. I lose a pair of sneakers, but here I lose it. And I didn't complain. I expected because I did that to people as well. So we woke out outside and leave our sneakers and stuff outside, and I had a small spray gun, never used before. Left that outside too. And one morning I got up and I saw a strange pair of sneakers in my yard, in our yard, and a pair of my sneakers gone. And I don't know who it was, but there were people working on the land next door to us, and so I don't know, could be any of them, right? But here the joke, here was saying this. The person left their sneakers and took mine. So I saw this strange pair of old bus-up sneakers in the yard. And my pair of sneakers gone together with the spray gun. And I went through all type of feelings. We felt invaded. They felt, I wonder when this happened, I wonder when we were sleeping, or when we went home, or what. And it was kind of frightening at first. And then I laughed at myself. I said, when you were on drugs, you did that to people, but I just didn't leave my sneakers. Mr. Man, take a change of shoes and go on and leave his for me. But I didn't come and complain about it. I didn't post about it. Why? Because I understand from my point of view that I would do that to people.
When you're using?
Yes, when I was using. And that's why when I heard a comedian complain the other day, I said, but you should understand this. They had videos of a man sneaking out his yard like a little rat with some tools. And and we felt violated.
Yes.
So could you imagine for somebody coming in your space, going in your bedroom, taking you into your own bedroom.
Yep.
And roughing you up and slapping you up and threatening to kill you.
Yep.
That is not a nice feeling, Tantan. So this is why we're doing it here this morning, for the victims and the survivors could get a little hope and strength. And we call on the community of Indian Walk to come together to protect this family when she returns home.
Yes.
Let's start looking out for each other, appeal to the youngsters in the area, and let's see what we can do. Enough of me. We have Claire on the line. Claire, good morning to you, and thank you very much for joining us.
Good morning, guys and Natasha.
Morning.
Good morning to everyone who's on listening. Good morning, my sister.
All right, we're getting a sort of feedback, so let's see if we could regularize that. But you're speaking to us from where exactly, Claire, if you mind letting us know?
I'm in Houston.
Right. You hearing that noise?
Yeah, it's like a...
You listening on Facebook and YouTube and radio, are you hearing that sort of crackling? You hearing that noise, Claire?
I'm hearing it.
Yeah, sort of staticky type of noise. No, that would be really uncomfortable to do an interview with. If we right, it's kind of sorted out now. All right, so let's proceed. So Claire, you out there, you're a retiree yourself, but tell us how you felt when you heard this happen to your sister. You from San Fernando, you're a stalwart in San Fernando. Take us through it.
I was actually watching the tennis with Coco, and I was screaming for Coco.
Just now, Claire, hold on. Claire, hold a second. Shortman, could we retry this? Because you're hearing that noise. It's very annoying, and I know to the listener it could be distracting. So is it you're using a headset, Claire, or is your situation...
Yeah, you want me to take off the headset?
Maybe try that and see. Let's try that if you can unplug it or something. But we're getting a... All right.
Is that better?
Yeah.
I think so.
Yeah. That's it.
Okay.
That's it right there. Right, so start again.
Okay.
Go ahead.
Yeah, I was home. I was watching tennis, and I got a call from one of our cousins. She's also heavy with the American tour, Aquila. And she said to me, I just got a call now. I was shocked, and I was like, girl, please stop talking stupidness. So I just texted her like 10 minutes ago, you know.
Right.
With the same thing she talking about doing the event in November, I was going to design the flyer for that event. So I started, stop talking nonsense now, I just text her like 10 minutes ago. So she said, okay, I'll call you back.
Right.
So when she left to call me back, I called my daughter, and I said to her, you when last you spoke to your mother? She said, well, I spoke to her like an hour ago, and she was preparing herself for a trip also. So I said to her, I told her what Akila said. While I was speaking to Akosua, Akila called me back and she said, yeah, another cousin up the street said that, this is what happened. Some guys came into the house and invaded and she got chopped. So we knew nothing what happened because everybody was trying to reach her, not knowing that they had her phone. So, it was like touch and go from that moment on until later on in the night when Akila called me back and said, well, the police came, they were going to the house. She did a video for me to see all the blood um, on the floor. And then she told me she was heading to the hospital. So I didn't hear from Akila until next morning. So, that night is like nobody could sleep. Everybody waiting to hear what's going on. Until she called me back and she told me, well, she saw her, the chop was what we was thinking, because we were thinking, you hear chop, you're thinking chopping head, chopping neck, chopping back, but it was just her hand. So, we were thankful for that.
Claire, while you try and get closer to the microphone, and so that we're hearing you.
We're hearing you.
Yeah, we're hearing you clearly, but some of the people online, having a little difficulty hearing you. So
okay,
try and get
closer now.
Right, wonderful. Yeah, so I could imagine you were on tenterhooks and really worried about this situation, and until you heard something, definitely.
Yeah, we were.
So, how did you feel when you heard about it?
Hopeless, totally hopeless and helpless. Because being this far, you can't do anything from here. So I started making calls to everybody we know, letting them know what happened. I called my aunts, my cousins. My first cousin to reach the hospital was Dixie, and I give her thanks, because my niece was out. She was out of the country on work for that whole week. So I can't speak for her because, but I could only imagine what she was going through, her mother, in that situation, and she being harrowing. So it was really, it is still a tough time for us, having to deal with this. Her being so independent and now can't do absolutely nothing for herself. We have to hire, aides to take care of her around the clock. I also want to say thanks to Marva Sandy, for being there 100%, for taking up this mantle that none of us, that we not there to handle.
Tom, yeah. Yes, folks, sorry. We had some technical issues, so we're trying to correct while we're on the trot here. Claire, you born, grew up in San Fernando. Now, but you always home, you're back and forth. Your thoughts on what you've seen become of your little San Fernando, with all the good around it?
I was actually born in Indian Walk.
Wow.
I was actually born in Indian Walk, moved to San Fernando as a baby, and then, we lived Skinner Street, then on to Pleasantville, then to Cookie, and then back up to where we came from. So it's a full circle. But when I'm home, that's where I am. I am there up in the country. And it is so peaceful, and, we don't really feel unsafe up there at any time.
Right.
I call my sister Mother Teresa because she helps out everybody. And I think that is where, I get angry, because she helped out everybody in the community. The little boys in the community, she would have them come home, clean up around the yard, give them a couple dollars, give them food, feed them, Anybody want anything in the community, she's right there to help out everybody. So, that's what, I'm so frustrated and angry about.
Well, what do you think about the the suggestion that there should be some kind of community watch group in the area now, so that this won't happen to someone else.
I really hope that, Natasha, that could happen, but honestly, we dealing with a different mindset of people who living up in the country now. It's not the mindset of the people we know when we used to be up there in the country. The younger ones, it's hard getting them. Even with all the programs she's trying to put forward in that community, they started the community market and figured that the community would support the market up there, the American market.
Mm.
It's like pulling teeth to get the people to come together. But I keep asking, what is the lesson to learn from this? What is the outcome? So maybe this might be the turning point for something to happen up there in that community that she loves so much.
Right. Yeah. If you're just joining us, you're listening to Our Dependency, and we are speaking with Claire now. We're speaking with Marva. We still have Marva on the line, who experienced home invasion. Her sister is speaking with us now. And, Claire, what, with regard to justice for your sister, what would you like to see?
Well, I would really love to see that the police step up and do their work, because it is utterly madness that up until this day, 3 weeks and a few days passed and not a statement. That's the first thing that the police are supposed to do. They were supposed to go to the hospital and take a statement right there and then follow through. And she shouldn't be the one having to run to the police station to get updates
Correct.
on what it is they're doing. That is my point.
Yes, I agree with you. And I'd like you to just see over that last line about she running to the station.
Yeah, she, because I speak to her every day, and I'm like, okay, did you hear from the police? She go to clinic twice a week, and from clinic she go from San Fernando General to Princeton police station, to get an update. That is so, unjust. Along with the justice, the unjust criminal act. There are no words to describe it.
The additional trauma to the actual trauma she experienced. I mean, she shouldn't have to be going through
Yes.
this as a survivor of this kind of crime.
Right.
And as you said,
Exactly.
and having done so much for our community, to be treated in that type of way, it's really heartbreaking. As I said, I could imagine the emotions, the roller coaster of emotions. Anybody who experienced a home invasion,
Yep.
once they survive it, would be going through.
Yep.
And it's really unfortunate. We want to say hello to folks who joined us from Jamaica, from Brooklyn.
Yes, welcome.
And thank you very much for tuning into Our Independency. And we are speaking with Claire and her sister, Marva, about the experience. Marva, you still there with us?
I'm still here, yes, sir.
Yes, Marva. So let me come to you now for a minute. What appeal would you like to make to the police again on your behalf?
Just do your job. Just do the job. Go out in the field and do the job. That is what I will ask them to do. Whether it's for me or for anybody else, do the job. You are there to protect and serve. So go out there and protect and serve the community.
Do you all have is a police community? There's a police community unit in Indian Walk area, a
No.
unit that interacts with the. No.
No.
Would you?
Even if there is, I don't know of any, but I don't think there is.
Now, and the community police, they're different to the regular policing, because the community police, as the name implies, would be visible in the community on a daily basis.
They are.
Any programs they do? Is there a youth club, police youth club in the
There's
area?
a police youth club, yes. There's a police youth club, yes.
Where, Indian Walk, or
Indian Walk.
is it active?
Yes. Or at least whenever there is a celebration, they always come out and march, and make their presence felt.
Right.
But outside of that, I don't know how active they are. The other day when we had the award function, they were there and they did their part. And you see them whenever we have the anniversary celebration, they come out and they do their part. But outside of that, I don't know how active they are.
Claire, is anything you would like to add to that, please?
I would just love the police to really step up and do what they're supposed to do. Because up in that area, you have a lot of seniors,
Mm-hmm.
so they need help, and the unit that Marva spoke of, the victims unit, for people who don't have the voice that we have, what is their position? Because truthfully and thankfully, we have a lot of support. We have a lot of friends who reach out and who support her, who go by and visit. And I think that's what keeping her spirits up.
Right.
So we give thanks to all the friends, like they always say, it takes a village. And God, we grew up in that village in Cookie,
Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
So
Yes.
that village continues because the whole Cookie team has rallied around her, Roland and Ken, and the whole side of them have rallied around her. They keep calling her, and we have friends who call all the time. So we
You
give
know,
thanks to that. But up there in Indian Walk, you don't have that village anymore.
now, what I've noticed, Marva and Claire, when Natasha and I visit my mom's grave from time to time, driving through, she was buried in Moruga. So driving through from Princestown, and when you take and going all the way up to Moruga, the landscape of the country have changed as well.
It has changed tremendously.
It has changed tremendously.
Yes.
It no longer feels homely country.
Like a village, like you belong.
Yeah.
No.
Even in Coquier where we grew up.
Yeah.
When I go back to Coquier is like a ghost town.
It has changed because most of the people there, we are elders now. And they moved out. It's the children, the next generation, or strangers who come in there to live. So it has changed tremendously.
Yeah, it has, and it breaks my heart to see when you go back to visit where you grew up, and that in down in that area by the shop, on the end of Betty Street and Simpson Brown.
Oh yeah, you don't see anybody there anymore. But
it's a ghost town.
If anybody's there, you're total strangers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it feels strange to know that I grew up there and feel like a stranger. Yeah, and I feel like a stranger every time I go back there. It's sad, the way our communities, and I continue to say, there's a reason for it. Cocaine destroyed our communities. It started with that. It started with that, Marva and Claire. We know that.
Yes.
Monrepo, Pleasantville, La Romaine, Coquier, St. Andrews Avenue, and the next side of Coquier, Forest Avenue. We were
by the shop.
Yeah, by
because
Johnson
our
shop.
Home was a hub. Our home was a hub of activity in Simpson Brown Terrace.
Yes.
That was the party house.
Yes.
And you felt comfortable for all the years you lived there. Nobody ever came to steal or anything. Nobody. We used to go by my grandmother who lived Mount George Village and leave the door open. I really go back shocked. We leave the door open. No lights on, the door wide open, and nobody would enter the house. No one.
But
you
now
can't do that anymore.
Yeah, and now the village stop raising the child because there are people in the village who have a problem with you raising their children. For them, your parents did it for us. Miss Sandi would do it. When she saw us, my mother would do it. But there's no longer that. You talk to a child now and you expect a visit from somebody with
a cutlass.
Exactly.
Yeah. And it's not just South. I mean, I mentioned earlier about what happened to my mom, who is a founding member of the community in Diamond Vale, Diego Martin. She is one of the first residents there. And I grew up there and we are accustomed to leaving our door open, and we were always felt safe. But then, she's in her advanced age, and for this something like this to happen to her, and then her children just decided, no, we need to get some security and start locking the door because we can't. And of course, she was kind of oblivious. She was like, I don't really care. I leave my door open if I feel to. But times have changed so much so that,
We can't
really
do that any longer.
can't do that anymore. And
Tobago
it's
is the same
sad.
thing. And Tobago is the same thing too. They're just in denial still, but Tobago in the same situation. Claire and Marva, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, we take some calls for you all. Just for some... Go ahead.
Before we take the call, I would really like to commend, I don't know what words to use to thank Marva and her staff for the excellent care that I'm getting. I have her aide with me. She does a wonderful job. And the rest of the staff at Hampton Place, they are so dedicated and loving and caring towards me. So I have to say thank you to all of them.
Yes. And for people who do care...
express how I feel, I think the simple words to say is thank you to them.
And for people who do caregiving too, we have to take our hats off to them too.
Absolutely.
For taking on that task. That's a calling, and it is because on another side of the fence where there are people who drop their families, their elderly and homes and
forget about them.
And in some cases just to get rid of them, or just because they care too, because it wasn't nice a feeling putting my mother there, but we knew my brother and sister live outside. I'm here. And we had one other family member trying to help her. So it became really, really daunting at times. So sometimes when people put people in homes, it's for a good as well. Yeah. And so we want to thank the people who do caregiving.
Absolutely.
Thank you very much for your love.
Thank you very much. As we raised that to Anisha Brown, who took care of my mom during her last days as well, and was really... like a daughter to her.
Yeah. And to the Coopers in New Grant who took care of my mom. We want to thank them too. Even my mom's goddaughter, Maureen Noel, who we refer to as Auntie Maureen, she did her part, but then the Coopers had to take over from there, and she stayed there until she passed, but I know it's not an easy job to do. As I said, it's a calling, and we want to thank all of you, social and caregivers, for the work that you do. You're tremendous. God bless you all. And so we're going to take a break, and when we return, we take some calls for Claire and Marva, and those of you, give them love and support. Gloria, Jeffrey, thank you very much because of what you said. Because of you two and this program, citizens have gotten so much wiser about drugs, human trafficking, sex trafficking, and so many other wrongs against law-abiding citizens. Thanks a million. You're welcome, Gloria. And to you, Tantan, I don't know if you removed your comment or Natasha did.
I know I didn't.
Okay, well, good. So you should not have removed it, but I want to find out why we're so offended. I'm not offended by your opinion, Tantan. We never are. But what we're offended by is not sticking to the topic. We are not discussing law enforcement this morning. We're discussing a survivor and the issue that she had experienced. But I want to advise you, if you feel so, compelled to have your opinion heard, then call a press conference and reveal who are the police and Coast Guard involved in drug and gang running. Go ahead. Don't let us stop you. Just not on this program, on this particular one. But you're free to comment. You go ahead. But I would advise you to call a press conference, sit with a few reporters, and let them know what you know. All right? We're going to take a break, and we'll be back with your calls. Stay right there.
The sex trafficking is a serious thing, boy.
Sex trafficking? I thought it was only human trafficking it have.
But what do you mean?
No serious thing, boy. Where you get that from? I don't know about human trafficking, not about sex trafficking.
So how can you spot and identify perpetrators and children who are victims of trafficking? Many victims who are children do not look like under 18 years old. Child victims often move escorted around alone or in small groups. They also live in shared and even packed rooms and have very little clothing and belongings. Child victims are often seen with adults who are not their parents, their relatives, or their caregivers. Migrant children are often unaccompanied and separated from their parents. Child victims are often engaged in work that is not suitable for children. They are often deprived of their freedom to go to school, to play, and to enjoy being a child. Perpetrators have unexplained sources of income and possessions. They are businessmen and businesswomen running legitimate and illegitimate businesses. Perpetrators may appear to be the victim's friend, boyfriend, close relative, or employer.
We are the Counter-Trafficking Unit of the Ministry of National Security, Trinidad and Tobago, safeguarding human life.
Hello. Hi, this is Patricia Kent from HMP London. Can I speak to Miss Sheila, please? This is Miss Sheila. Hi, I've got an important call for you. Please hold the line.
Mommy, it's Sherry.
Oh God, Sherry, we looking for you all the time. 3 weeks now. Where you going?
Mommy, according to Talia, I get locked up. I had drugs in my luggage and I'm in England right now. In jail.
Oh God, sorry, what will you do? How you reach there? Oh God, how we gonna do?
Oh God, Mommy, don't cry, don't cry, don't cry. It'll be alright. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Eye on Dependency. Reality radio at its best every Sunday on I 95.5 FM. Don't miss it.
Give me my phone.
What you doing taking them kind of pictures? I'll tell Mommy.
And I'll tell her you invaded my privacy.
Privacy? When you send those pics, you lose all privacy. It's like setting up a billboard with your naked pics for the world to see.
Those pictures are for my boyfriend's eyes only, and he'll never do that to me.
Yes, he can, or one of his friends or family. Or someone can steal his phone. Sending naked pics can open you up to embarrassment for you, your family, and friends. You can be harassed by bullies. Your pics can be uploaded to websites and seen by everybody, even the wrong people, sex offenders. It can also affect you getting a good job in the future. Once those pictures go out, you can never get them back.
Okay, I'll tell my boyfriend delete them, and I'll delete these. I'm glad I have a smart little sister.
I'm still telling Mommy.
Eye on Dependency with Garth and Natasha.
Reality radio at its best, where every life is a biography.
Sundays at 10 a.m. and exclusively on I-95.5 FM.
And streamed live on the Eye on Dependency Facebook page and YouTube channel.
All right, folks. Thank you for staying with us. We're going to take some calls, 622-3937. We don't normally do this. You know, we have information, but this is support here this morning, and we want to offer some to this family.
Yep.
Karen King, I hear you. I feel you. I'm living in Tobago, she says, and trust me, God, our doors are always locked. I'm definitely not in denial. Here is different now. Karen, thank you very much for saying that, because
Yes.
we have been warning them that it was going to be like this, Karen. We did. And nobody listened to us. As a matter of fact, they tried to shut us up. And so it's so unfortunate to hear now Tobago. Well, at least you're not in denial, Karen, and thank you. But the people who should come out of their denial are the ones who should get those rehab facilities set up and start treating with those who want treatment. Morning, Shaman Jack. Tantan said the reality is criminals have reached a different level. We pray for Marva's safety. And, well, I thank you, Tantan, to hear the situation. There's no more police protection in this country. Tantan, you still had to put something in it to get you in trouble, eh? Let's go to the lines. Hello, but thank you very much. We appreciate your comments. All right, thank you, and remember, those of you on Facebook and YouTube, remember to like and subscribe.
Yes, please. We have 102 people on Facebook and only 33 likes. We could do better than that. And on YouTube, we have how many? 145 people on YouTube and only 27 likes. We could do better than that, folks.
Yes, folks. Let's help to build this YouTube channel because we have plans for it in the future. So please keep liking and subscribing to it and click on that bell. Hello, good morning.
No one yet. 622-3937 is the number to call.
Hello, good morning. Good morning. (622-3937). While so Marva, any closing comments from you while we'll take some calls for you. Hello.
My friends and former colleagues from National Insurance Board who have been, particularly San Fernando and Cuba, who've been rallying to my side. They've great support to me, and all my friends and relatives, both in Trinidad and abroad, who have been calling and giving me words.
Hello?
Who thanking me, who giving me words of encouragement.
Hold on, caller.
Who again? I have some cousins. Oh my
Tell
God.
him hold on.
Hold on, caller.
I have to thank them.
Hi, Natasha. Hi, God.
I would like to thank everyone who has been giving me words of encouragement and who's been there for me, who took me to the hospital to go to clinics and so. And I thank you. I know you wouldn't want me to call your name. I wouldn't call your name. H, I wouldn't call your name. And P, I wouldn't call your name. So I thank you all. I do not have words. I can't find the words enough to thank you all for your great encouragement and your prayers. My daughter and my sisters, my immediate family. Oh boy. Well, we are close knit, God. We are very close knit family. So I am really, really grateful to all.
Yep.
All right.
How long do you expect to be in recovery again?
Just now, before we have a caller.
I say, Natasha, this will take a very long time.
It will, especially with his fingers.
My fingers are cut off really, really, really bad. I didn't lose any, thank God, but yeah.
But the injury could be lifelong because some of the fingers may not be able to move. Yes. There's a lot of therapy in getting back to full strength.
Now, it's 3 weeks. I'm not even supposed to move my fingers.
Wow. Hello, good morning.
Hey, God. Good morning, Natasha. Good morning, Miss Marva and Miss Claire. Mr. Toronto here. I listen to the program all the time. I know the area good. I know those areas because my in-laws from that area. I visited those areas very regularly when I come home. But to hear these things happening there is very disgusting. I mean, the thing is, I don't want to call my in-laws their name, but I know the area good. I've been there all the time, and they're supposed to be a safe community.
Well, things have changed, my friend.
You know, I'm from Matlock.
Okay.
And long time you leave your door open, but I don't know now because when I go back home in Matlock, I still have to be although it's way up in the country, I still have to be on my guard because you don't know who living there because I'm living here. I came here since 1990, living in Canada, and it's very ridiculous to hear in these safe areas in the country hearing these things happening. And I want to say something to you little boys out there. You know the problem is with all you? When I get caught, and I go into court, all the parents, boy, all the parents, I see it already in court in Trinidad, eh? I see it already. My boy, they do nothing. I mean, they do nothing. Parents is always somehow causing this problem too, Parents also somehow causing this problem. I don't know these vagabonds that want to have a wrong all here. Take them out. Carry them to the station. I'm very disappointed to hear. I know I hate to leave you with them. I'm very disappointed to hear this. Miss Marva. So, I'm glad that you lose your life. But this is serious. This is somebody's home, boy. Serious boy, attacking boy. Wow, boy. You know, I looked on this, Miss Marva, Miss Claire, Miss Marva, you keep safe and I'll be praying for you, man.
Thank you, Daddy.
Thank you. Thank you, caller.
Thank you very much.
Hello, good morning. Hello, morning. Hello.
Hi, good morning.
Good morning. Morning.
This is King Cosmos calling from Toronto.
Who is this?
King Cosmos calling from Toronto,
King
Canada.
Cosmos, how are you? How are you?
Cousin.
Yes.
I'm fine, thanks. It's been a long time since your Toronto days, man.
Yes, man. Yes. Don't worry, we'll be back soon. Don't worry. I'll see you. Go ahead. Thanks for listening and
Yes, I
speak
got
with us.
Marva is my cousin, Marva and Claire. They're
Yes.
my cousins. And it's been really, really heartbreaking to hear what has happened, you know. I'm glad to know that she's feeling much better, that she's in good spirits.
Yes.
But I just thought I had to call into the show this morning to, give her that love and support. And to say thanks to you and Natasha for the work that you're doing. The world is such a crazy place right now. You know, Toronto is much the same thing. Every day we, getting news about killings, break-ins, you name it. All sorts of stuff is happening. You know?
Cosmos, I want to ask you something. From your is the drug problem, is it really bad too as well among our community in Canada, in Toronto especially?
Well, Garth, look, it's pervasive. It's no longer a thing about one community, let's say among people of African ancestry or anything like that.
Right.
It's really pervasive. And the stereotype we have about black people and so on, that's gone. The crime is in suburban areas, upscale areas, which never used to happen before. Downtown is not like back in the day when downtown was ghetto. Downtown is upscale, but you have crimes there as well. It can happen anywhere across all ethnic lines. It doesn't really matter.
No,
Crime
why
is crime
you see?
right
Why
now.
I ask the question? Marijuana especially have been decriminalized in Toronto, in Canada, and there are shops now that you can go and purchase marijuana. Normal. Do you think that made a difference? I mean, I know I put you on the spot with this question, but
it's difficult for me to say because the legalizing it. I mean, people use it for medicinal purposes and so on. So it's really difficult for me to say if it's made the situation worse. The big thing really now is not so much marijuana anymore. It's fentanyl.
Yes.
Drugs that are killing people.
Yes.
You hardly hear anything about marijuana, but fentanyl is the big one. And, things like, you talk about child trafficking and sexual exploitation. Those are the big things right now. We're hardly hearing anything about marijuana.
The world is going crazy, man. King Cosmos, we want to thank you so much for taking the time out to speak with us, all right?
Thanks for calling.
Thanks, Cosmos. We appreciate it.
Yeah, I
Thanks
just
for your
had to
love.
do it. And thanks, Garth. And as I said, it's been quite a while since your Toronto days.
Yes.
Garth, GS Soldier. Okay? But
Yes.
you do, and I followed some of your trials and tribulations and so on. I'm glad that you didn't go under. I'm glad that you stood up. You stood strong.
Yes,
and you're doing really important work trying to educate the population because it's needed. It's badly, badly needed, that kind of education, especially among our young black men. I say that because I know over the last few years we've been talking a lot about the empowerment of women and so on, which is very important, but I think in many cases, I know at least here in Toronto, in Ontario, our young black men are being left behind and they're going astray like crazy. It's worse than it's been. And I wish that in the education system especially, and in communities, people can begin talking more broadly about advancement. We cannot talk as if our young black men don't exist. We cannot talk about them only when crimes are committed. We have to encourage and empower them right alongside the women, because, you know, if they feel left out, they're more inclined to turn to criminal activities. Now, I'm not making excuses for them, don't get me wrong. I'm just saying that the message has to be more encouraging and more inclusive of black men as well. Otherwise, we'll have a hell of a price to pay.
Cosmos, one more question before you go. You listen to radio in Toronto?
Sorry, radio?
Yeah. Do you listen to radio? Do you have access, like, you know, you have a favorite station you listen to? Or because I know there's a station that reaches the diaspora in there, but do you listen to radio or follow any?
Sometimes I'm so busy most of the time. CBC is one of the stations I listen to a lot. I hardly listen to you know, the pop stations and
What about Jai? Jai still on radio? Jai Oja Maharaj.
He is internet, but he, you know, internet has changed everything, right? But he still has his program running on a Saturday.
Now, do you have
He's
any
still with
program?
Chin.
You have any program like Dependency you listen to in Canada or Toronto?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah.
I get when I want to tune into international affairs and so on. I go on the internet and you know, I select specific podcasters and independent journalists. I hardly pay any attention to mainstream radio or TV because I believe that they've done us a great disservice. They're not educating us properly. They're more entertaining us than anything else. It's
All right.
people like you, the work that you are doing. I think that's where the important work lies.
Thank you, my friend. You keep flying the flag of your country too as well in Canada. Take care. We talk again. All right?
Indeed.
Wonderful.
And keep up the good work. Continue
Will do.
blessings. Marva, I love you. You take
Love you,
care.
honey.
Get well quickly, okay?
Okay, thanks.
Thanks, Garth.
You're welcome. Take care. All right. Hello, good morning. 622-3937. Hello, good morning. Morning. I asked him that for a reason, eh?
I know I asked him that.
Yeah.
I know I asked
Tom.
him.
Hello, good morning.
Hello, morning.
Hello, good morning to Garth and Natasha and Marva.
Good morning, ma'am.
And according to my
Claire is
grandmother,
also here with us too.
and Claire, good morning also. According to my grandmother, Marva, one day at a time.
It's all like Gail.
Something else. One of the reasons why our citizens are angry is because of this also, you know. Marva is still waiting,
Yeah.
right? Her matter is not resolved. So this is one of the reasons why our citizens are angry. I watch a program on cable called The First 48, and the detectives follow through until they solve the matter, right? Hardly ever do they ever not solve a crime, but they follow through until they solve a crime. That officer who was going on 2 weeks training, he's supposed to pass on the folder to some other officer to carry it on. That is where the gap is, you know.
Yep.
And the delay in the justice system, the delay in police following up on crime. That is why our citizens are angry also.
Yep.
Something needs to be done. Youngsters can be in prison for 15 and 20 years and the matter ain't called as yet. You're creating animals. Sometimes you're in a room by yourself. You turn your twist. What else to do? Just imagine those prisoners in prison. They have no TV. They have nothing. I only wonder at times. But Police Commissioner, Mr. Fitzgerald Hine, try and do something. Listen to Marva's story and see where you all can help and assist. Okay,
you.
Garth and Natasha, I subscribe to your YouTube channel and I support you all. Bye.
All right, thank you so much for your support. And we too want to reiterate, you know, to let's do better. We can. I know we can. I know it's hard, and it's easy to sit here and quarterback the police service, but what can be done, let it be done. You know, and that's all we're asking. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, God, Natasha.
Morning.
And this is Miss Marva, or your lady, your name is?
Marva, and yes, her sister Claire is on with us too.
Sister. I want to say, I don't want to repeat what the last caller said about not getting the response at the right time. But, Mom, I would like you all to continue praying. I know someone who recently had a similar experience but didn't get damaged. And I'm trying to figure out how she's dealing with it right now because I talked with her. I tried to see what I could do, you know. But it ran through my mind when I was on drugs, you know, I never invaded nobody's home to get anything what I wanted, you know. And I'm studying, you know, what the experiences that these people have experienced, and you have to live with this now. So every time you're in a house now, you know, long time you used to have our windows open, and now you're in a house now, and you have to be so locked up as if you're in jail now. You know, we put ourselves in jail now, and you see the young people in our society. Boy, it is sad. And people saying about parenting, remember I keep saying we do not have parents again. We have children making children. And that is a big problem in our society today. When this is happening, how are they going to train and pass on what the parents taught them? You understand what I'm saying? So, Mom, I just want to give you all strength and hope and just say keep praying, because these young people, who knows where they are at this time or what is going to happen to them. You know, and it's unfortunate.
Thanks,
Thank
Harold.
you, Thank
Nice
you,
to
Harold.
hear it.
Thank you. Nice to hear from you, man.
Before you get, it would be remiss of the staff at in Ward 6 and in the burn unit and the doctors who took care of me. They were really, really good. They took good care of me there.
Good
so
to hear.
I
Yes.
want to say thank you to them also.
Yes,
All right.
good to hear. Great to hear that. And once again, you know, as one person, Leon said, I hope the Commissioner of Police is listening. She needs to call the officer in charge, you know, at Princestown Station or the divisional commander and get somebody on this. I know it's one of many.
Yes.
But, you know, let's
Marva is not alone, and that is part of the concern too. I think that this has become such a frequent crime, as crime of home invasions, that you would think the police would be able to respond with a lot better because of the frequency of the crime.
It's a horrifying thing,
Yeah.
and we hope. I don't wish that on my worst enemy, to tell you the truth. Good morning.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
I was say that I am very much upset with the attitude of the police. I mean, they let the police look very bad. I mean, we went on a course for 2 weeks, pass that file on to somebody else. What, that station don't have a senior officer? They don't have a senior soup? That division don't have a senior soup? Nah, man. I'm very much upset and disturbed about the whole issue, where the police is concerned. Up to now, that lady can't get redress. Nah, man. Totally upset.
I hear you, caller.
Thank you very much.
I feel that too. Yeah. Again, it's the faster we get to her memory will still be intact to understand. Look, you know, walk us through it, tell us what happened, and she has to relive this all over again. And every time, Marva, you know, is it same thing like you see in the movies? You know, so when something traumatic comes to somebody and they close their eye and try to sleep, do you relive this over a few times when you close your eyes?
Yeah, particularly when he dragged the cutlass out of my hand.
Oh God, yes, I know. I could imagine how
So
that.
every time you look at your hands or you feel any pain, you can
but
remember that.
When they were taking out these stitches, I went through that all over again.
Yes, I could imagine, and that blade going through flesh is something you will never forget, you know.
No.
Yeah, something you don't forget. Getting cut with a razor blade is, you know, is.
Yeah, when a knife cut you, how it hurt.
Yes.
You could imagine.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello, morning.
Hi, morning.
Hi, good morning, Gata Natasha.
Morning.
I normally listen to your program on a Sunday morning, and I find it to be very interesting and very informative.
Thank you, ma'am.
However, I'm calling from Tobago, and the reason for me calling, well, first of all, I would like to say to Marva and her sister, be strong, and I know Marva would have gone through a great ordeal, and we know it's just one day at a time, and by God's grace, she will get there. However, God, if you and Natasha just allow me just 2 minutes of your time, I was impelled to call in because I heard you read your comments from Facebook concerning Tobago and whatever. But God, this is a matter that happened not to me, but to my sister. About 7 years ago, because it was before the COVID experience. My sister would have gone to the bank in Tobago. She lives on the west side of Tobago. And somehow someone trailed her from the bank to her home. She had just withdrawn. My parents are both pensioners, and so she should have gone on the monthly thing to get their funds. She, however, returned home. She left the money and so forth, and she went out to get a couple items for them. The person trailed her, looked at her. By the time she left home, the person went into the house and they stole the money and everything. My sister went to report the matter to the police station. Mind you, Garth and Natasha, this police station is about less than 10 minutes from where my sister lives. They came, they took the report. However, my sister did not have cameras at the time, but her two neighbors, the one on the left and the one on the right, had cameras. And they implored the police to come and look at the cameras to get footage. To this date, Natasha and Garth, they are still to go to get the footage.
Oh God. And that was 8 years ago.
7 years.
Wow.
And nothing has been done. They stole thousands of dollars and jewelry on top of that from my sister's home. From the time she entered the house, she realized something was not right. She called her husband. She said, "Did you return home?" He said, "No, I did not." She said, "Well, somebody came into our home." And my sister, up to last week, I visited her, and we talk about the experience. She does not even want to talk about it again, because every time the subject comes up, she's traumatized. Garth and Natasha, all of this to say that I am hurt. And you know why? The police are not, I'm not bashing them, but instances like this, because in this case, this is a home invasion, because somebody invaded your privacy. They came into my sister's home and they took the cash that was supposed to be for my parents, along with all her jewelry. The only thing she had to tell the story for jewelry was her wedding ring, because she had that on the day. Other jewelry gone, and that police officer who was in charge, he has since retired, and up to this day, one day my sister met him, and she was so perturbed. She said, "You are doing nothing about this case for my sister." He pulled her aside to pacify her, and even then, he retired, and no one ever did anything. God, I am hurt because of what happened. So I said this morning, when I heard you mention the comment from Tobago, I said I had to call in, because every time I think about it, because my sister could have died, because she could have confronted whoever, because the area is quite when you go there during the day, you hear nobody, you see nobody. They could have killed my sister in her home. And the police, up to this day, God, never did nothing. So that is when I heard Marva's statement concerning the lackadaisical attitude of the police. I said I had to call in, because while my sister's story was not very similar, it had some similarities. So I said I had to call in, especially when you made the comment concerning Tobago. I said, let me call. Even though I took a little time, I'm glad you heard me.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank
you very much. All right?
Okay.
Okay, Marva and Claire, this is where we wouldn't leave it, but we leave in this interview. And we will keep in touch with you all. Marva, any closing comments, quickly?
I thank you, God, for giving me the opportunity to air this. I hope out of this, the police will get into action. At least somebody will call me to get a statement from me, and and try to get the perpetrators and put a close to this.
Yes.
To this. Don't leave it open-ended for the guys to go around the neighborhood and go around the populated villages, hurting other people.
Yes.
Again, I thank everybody for their support and their prayers. Everybody.
Yes.
Claire, I love you. Yaki, I love you. God, I love you. Thank you for the opportunity.
We love you too.
And I love you, Marva. I'm sure she's listening.
Yes.
And my caretaker. Shall I call her my assistant? That's call her. Thank you.
Take care.
And
Claire?
the staff at
Thank you so
Hampton, please.
much.
Thank you.
Claire, you still with us? Yes, your closing remarks, because we have news coming up at 12 with Mr. Sterling Henderson, who is in studio already. You're not hearing her?
Mm-mm.
Claire, we're not hearing you.
All right. Well, unfortunately, we'll keep in touch. All right, Claire, but thank you very much for your time. And thank you, Trinidad and Tobago, for your comments, for joining us. And to the police of Trinidad and Tobago, we know it's hard. We know you have it real rough. It's a different time in Trinidad and Tobago this time. And
But these are the people who we're supposed to be.
You signed up for it.
Protecting and
Let's
serving.
do it. All right? But you'll always have support from us here on our Independency. It's just that we need to help those two who need your help. Oh, so we got to go. Major news up next with Mr. Sterling Henderson. Next week, Sunday, please God, we'll have a very interesting program. My birthday is coming up and we're going to talk about it. Yeah, we're going to talk about the experience of
Happy International Day of Older Persons. God,
yes.
God is now a member of that cohort.
Nobody knows.
Good afternoon.
Goodbye. They see that is what I have to say. Stop it, talk.